I'm speaking today with Diana Maldonado, who is running for state representative in District 52 up in Williamson County. Diana, why are you running for this office?
I am running because I do want to provide a clear voice for my community and bring balance back to the Texas legislature. And also, with being a school board trustee for Round Rock ISD, I'm already an elected official in Williamson County, have a proven track record, and I'm ready to take it to the next level and make sure we champion those issues at the legislature.
A lot of independent school districts have been kind of feeling a pinch lately between, the legislature not giving more money to the schools in the last legislative session, and of course, higher prices on gasoline and food. You know, as someone who's been on an ISD, what does the legislature need to do to help the schools?
Definitely, there has to be more advocacy and relationship building with regards to public education. I mean, it's the core fundamental for families. For an example, for Round Rock ISD, that's the number one reason that people move into the area. So it's a core fundamental value that we want to make sure we bring back as a priority issue at the legislature. And more you'll see school board trustees, taking it to the next level to be state representatives such as Donna Howard. And so it's great that she's over on Eanes and I'm over here in Round Rock ISD, and we're working collectively to do that and make sure that it becomes a priority issue. And look at the policies and funding formulas, all of that hasn't been looked at in years. We need to bring it up with the current trends of our economy.
Now, Round Rock, I think of Round Rock as a place that would be, one of the richer school districts. What kind of problems is a place like that facing these days? And what should the legislature be doing, not just to address the poorer districts, which is what we all hear about and which certainly need it, but also places like Round Rock where, as you say, people move for the schools.
Correct. In fact, a lot of people do have the perception that Round Rock is, property rich district, but 1 in every 5 children are at the poverty level, and that's something that people, have to take a moment to grasp that and put that connection together. But Round Rock in itself has a growth issue, so we are growing by leaps and bounds. At the time when I was on the school board, we were having around 1,200 students come in every year. And so the growth is there, and it's about servicing all our student needs. So as it grows, you have different needs for the different students that they bring, and so we need to make sure that we build a curriculum that will address the different needs and make sure that all our students have access and a quality public education.
Now, of course, the last time the legislature tried to address public education, what they wound up doing really was funding a big property tax cut and implementing a new business tax. A lot of business owners are unhappy with this tax, saying that it puts too big a burden on smaller businesses. What's your opinion of the business margins tax, and what would you like to see the legislature do with it in the next session?
Well, the margins tax, which again was a way to find additional revenue to fund public schools and then also provide some relief, really never addressed the public education or the funding issue. Again, we have to go back and look at the funding formulas for public education. Like an example, the transportation, our school buses, they have not revised the gas formula for our buses, I believe like since the 80s. So it's been a while, and obviously our gas prices have gone up. So we need to go back and look at those funding formulas. And as far as the margins tax, they really don't know how much revenue it's going to bring. I mean, I worked at the comptroller's office. That was part of some of the discussions on when that got initiated. And it's a moving target. I think it's not addressing, or it's unfairly penalizing the small businesses, which in Texas and throughout the nation, that's what makes a vibrant community, small business ownership, and making sure that we have those empowering and enriching communities with small businesses.
Now, of course, college education, in particular tuition for it, has been in the news a lot. The deregulation that was passed in 2003 has caused tuitions to rise at public universities in Texas. There's a lot of pushback lately, mostly from Democrats, to re-regulate. What is your opinion on this?
I think in simple terms, if you do a plan, it doesn't work, you have to go back to the drawing board. I mean, it's as simple as that, but at the same time very complex because you have a big group of folks from varying perspectives that feel differently on the issue. But when you make a policy or implement legislation that makes it harder and harder for your average Texas families to send their kids to college, there's something wrong with that.
Now, it is also the case that it is also the case in the news that toll roads are a big issue certainly in Williamson County in particular. The previous representative in House District 52 was one of the architects of the Trans-Texas Corridor. What would you like to see done by the legislature in terms of toll roads? Do you want to see some sort of moratorium revisited? Do you want to see a change in the gas tax so that there's less of a reliance on toll road funding? What would you like to see done?
I think the first step that was taken with regards to moratorium is a good faith effort to represent our constituents, taxpayers who normally fund all the decisions that are implemented by the legislature. With regards to transportation, we need different ways to get in and around our communities, but first and foremost, we need to make sure that the roads we build serve the people that use them. In other words, I want to make sure that the family goes to the Friday night football game, goes to the grocery store. We don't need like a 12-lane highway from Mexico to Canada. We just want to get folks to and from work, football games, and whatever necessary needs, such as doctor's visits. That's how we need to start structuring our transportation and the roads we build.
Now, recently, there's been a lot of talk about S-chip and funding levels for that. Texas is kind of behind in providing insurance for children. The legislature sort of made some gains in reversing cuts from 2003, but there's still a long way to go. What do you want to see the legislature do on CHIP in 2009?
Again, when you send federal dollars back, as a Texas legislature, we're not doing our job. And so I think, again, we need to be more aggressive in making sure that the funding opportunities that are available, that we use them. Because if we have over 5 million hardworking Texans and families without just your basic health care, I mean, we are crippling our own families. And that makes an impact to where someone can go to work, someone's going to learn in the classroom, and just be able to have a normal, basic functioning life. So, again, going back and make sure that we take opportunities of all the funding available and look at the policies to make sure that it serves the people of Texas.
Now, Williamson County has generally been kind of a Republican stronghold in the state, but there seems to be a Democratic renaissance going on there. Can you talk a little about that?
Yes, very, very happy to do so. Again, a while back it was Democratic, and then it went to Republican leaning. And you see the changes going on, the trending that it's going Democratic, again, because of the growth itself. I mean, whether you're Republican, Democrat, Independent, everyone likes good schools. And that's what Round Rock in Williamson County is known for and has done a good job. And I'm glad to have been part of that effort as well. So the growth itself and the changing demographics is leading it to change Democratic in the near future. This is going to definitely be an exciting election cycle. My race is one of the most watched races for the 2008 cycle, and I'm looking forward to a win in November.
All right, Diana Maldonado, thank you very much for talking to me today.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right.